Hi everybody, this is my video for our assignment this week on the module readings. Um, so for number one, my connections that I draw between the course content and my prior knowledge is that with my prior knowledge with art-based learning in early childhood, is that in order to strengthen children's skills in all domains, it is imperative for them to have art-based play. I have two kids, and I do a lot of art-based play with them. With open-ended materials, I will set up like a tray with feathers or beads, or the little pom-poms and paints and glitter paints and all different types of textures and materials, and then I give them like a big blank canvas, and I let them create whatever it is, and I'll ask them open-ended questions like, what are you making? And for example, my son loved, last time he made a megalodon, and he didn't like how it turned out, so we did another one. So when they create these kind of things, I put them on the walls in their room, kind of like their own art gallery, which I think is pretty neat for them. So, and then when I worked in preschool, we always handmade everything. We were never using printouts or pre-made materials for the kids. So we were always crafting and having the kids be part of that process as well. So I learned from this week's module that allowing children to freely create and learn is called process-focused art. The other strategy is called product-focused art. I feel this way, the product-focused art is not authentic and is completely restrictive. It goes against the creative process and takes away individuality and uniqueness of their work, and turns it into conformity and can even lead to, frustration. So what I learned was that even though when we went where I worked, we created projects, through hands-on means and not printouts, I always thought that this was a really good approach. But now, after reading this module, I learned more about the process-focused art, and I realized that what we were doing is kind of just one step better than printouts, because the cutouts still dictate what the child can and cannot create, and send them the message that there is a right and wrong way to express themselves. For the challenge, I feel like one idea I struggle with is completely accepting not having a sample piece to follow sometimes, when it's appropriate. So I feel like if there is a lesson on a duck and children are learning what a duck is and what a duck looks like, I think it may be appropriate to provide them with an example piece, created by the teacher, of what the duck looks like when the project's completed. But I do feel like if you do that, you should also allow them to create their own interpretation of the duck. So I guess it really just depends on your intention, but I do struggle with sometimes, with not always providing a sample piece may not be in their best interest. So for number 3, concepts, one key concepts I think are important from this reading is definitely process-focused art learning. I have a goal to own and operate my own preschool in the future, and I think this is something I feel is very important to share with my future teachers. I also think it is important not to restrict dramatic play. This was always the most popular center when I taught 3 to 4 year olds, and it's a great opportunity to ask them open-ended questions, and that's really a key component in developing their language and cognitive skills, as well as allowing them to express themselves freely. And one changes I would make in attitude or thinking from the text is to steer away. A change that suggested in the text, is to steer away from product-focused art. Implementing this strategy can damage children's self-worth, repress their feelings, and also their creativity, and keep them from thinking outside of the box. So that is my assignment for this week, and I look forward to listening to everyone else's. Thanks.